friends. My name is Tarun Puri, and I run a company called Let's Do India. And I want to welcome you to this short chai and chat about something in a place that is very dear to my heart, which is India. I want to today discuss with you what it is about India that makes it so different or unique compared to so many other beautiful places on the planet. I get asked this often for people who are thinking about going to India, and they're not sure exactly what to make of India from all that they hear about it. My sister and I have been hosting guests, small groups of guests, up to about 12 to 14 people, on adventures to India, which are called Journeys of a Lifetime. And it has been our pleasure to introduce them to our India, North India and South India during our trips, at which time we let you experience the distinct rhythm and the pulse of India. The life in India has a certain flow, and there's a chaos to it. Sometimes it sounds maddening, and at times there's a stillness. There is so much life and so much vibrancy happening in India that it can be overwhelming to the senses. My recommendation to individuals considering India is that when you arrive in India, let go of all preconceptions and allow yourself to just become immersed into the rhythm or this flow of India. Withhold your judgment and just breathe. It's almost like riding a horse. When you're learning at the beginning, if you do not go with the rhythm of the horse, you're going to have a very difficult time learning how to ride without getting thrown off or hurt. India is like that. There is a rhythm and a pulse that is very unique. It's very intense. This is an ancient culture. There's 2,000 dialects in India, over 11 languages, and a multitude of cuisines. Most of us have no idea what Indian food really is, because there's such a variety that you could go from one place to the next, maybe 100, 150 miles apart, and there could be a totally different way of preparing an everyday vegetable or fruit or a kind of a bread. So India is just very, very rich. It is colorful and is full of contrasts. When my trips take place, it is always a pleasure for my sister and I, who lives in India half the year. So she really does have a very accurate pulse on how that culture works and how best to maximize our experience there. We love to show people every aspect of India. In the north, Delhi, of course, a city of 20 million people, is intense. Yet it has the world's newest metro. It has been built very efficiently, and it runs incredibly efficiently. The monuments in Delhi, the world's largest and most stunning Hindu temple, the Akshardham, is in Delhi, and it rivals the Taj in the beauty of the architecture. There are so many other monuments, historical monuments from empires in the past, and Delhi is just a wonderful place sometimes to kick off our visit. We often go to Rishikesh, the holy city on the banks of the Ganges and the foothills of the Himalayas. And over there, you will find people from every corner of the world. It's like a mini United Nations. You can be whitewater rafting one moment on the Ganges, and the next you will find yourself at evening Aarti or prayer services, which are held outside at the banks of the Ganges when the sun is going down. A most sublime spiritual experience. From there, we could be going, for instance, over to Bombay, the other major city in India, which is the home of the acting industry, referred to as Bollywood. Bombay is on the ocean there on the coast, and so again a very different texture, different feel to that city, a lot of beauty, and again a different kind of architecture and parks and flora and fauna in Bombay. From there we may go into Kerala. Kerala seems to be a favorite destination. It's really God's country. It is absolutely stunning, and its people are very gentle. They're very highly educated, as the literacy in Kerala is over 98%. It's a place where they have the tea estates up in the mountains. Absolutely Shangri-La. The beauty of the tea estates is unparalleled, and the story behind the tea and how it was planted and how these estates came to be is fascinating. It's also the home of spices. 86% of the world's spices come from India, and most of them and many of them come from the Kerala region. We always stay in a place called the Cardamom Hills, and you can smell the scent of cardamom, the world's second most expensive spice, wafting in there. It's just sublime. You learn about clove and cinnamon and all the different spices and certain kinds of tropical and medicinal fruits and vegetables when we're at that part of the world. They have a very rich tradition in Ayurveda, which came from southern India. Ayurveda is the science of life. It is the approach that is holistic, that's natural, and that through which doctors for 5,000 years have been helping people restore physical, mental, emotional well-being. Actually, we often go to a resort that is rated #1 for the last 20 years in India by the government and guests alike. And over there, along with staying on a beautiful lush property on the ocean with wonderful food, yoga, meditation, relaxation, we also receive 2 hours of Ayurvedic style massages by 2 highly trained therapists. All of this under the watchful eye of trained doctors. There's also the backwaters in Kerala, for instance, which are like the Venice of India. So this is just giving you a very quick insight into the diversity in India. When you go up to the Rajasthan area, where the city of Jaipur is, for instance, you have yet another experience, because now we're into the desert culture. The colors, the crafts, the diamond cutting, the jewelry is just absolutely mind-blowing what comes out of Jaipur. The textiles, and of course the availability of beautiful silk and other cotton carpets. So I'm trying to give you an insight that India is just an ideal place for whether you're bird watching, whether you want to go climbing up to the peaks of the Himalayas, whether you love architecture, food, cuisine, learning about spices, about temples, sacred spiritual journeys. And we always focus on giving our guests a taste and a flavor of every one of these aspects of India, so that after a few weeks you can actually then decide what is it that you would come back to India for. Because one thing I can tell you, there is so much to see in that country. It is so incredibly rich, the breadth and the depth of it, that even after half a dozen trips you will have barely scratched the surface. I hope that you enjoy and have that passion for India that I have developed over the years. If we can be of any assistance, feel free to visit us at letsdoindia.com. There are a lot more resources and information articles, also information about some of our trips. We're most happy to customize a trip for individuals, couples, or groups of friends. And whatever you choose to do, I hope that you will choose to visit India. It is an absolutely stunning, beautiful, incredible country. You will not regret it. Namaste.